I hope you have a daughter just like you. When I was a kid, my mother put a curse on me. I hope you have a daughter just like you one day, she would say. Yeah, and she would say this over and over, and soon it morphed into, I can't wait until you have a daughter just like you. Yeah, and I was terrified because I didn't want to have a daughter just like me. Yeah, I was a terrible kid, and I knew it. You know what, it wasn't totally my fault. My mother drank vodka gimlets, she smoked 2 packs of Raleighs a day, and she took diet pills all through her pregnancy with me. Yeah, in fact, she weighed 2 pounds less than when she started after giving birth to me. And I came out of her womb ready to change the world, as she liked to say. But my theory is that I'm still working off the speed from the diet pills. And my dad even nicknamed me Zippy. No, I really was a handful. My sisters, they hated me, and they loved to tease me that I was adopted because there were no baby pictures of me. And there weren't. They start when I'm a year and a half. And I didn't really believe that I was adopted, but I often wish that some other family would adopt me. I'm pretty sure these are some of the reasons that I wanted to adopt a daughter and break the lineage and break that curse. When I got married at 36, I wasn't ready to have children. We got engaged after 7 months and married 6 months later, and I needed some time to get to know this new husband. And a few years later, when I was emotionally ready to become a mother, I wasn't physically ready. I didn't want to do this to my 40-year-old body. Plus, I didn't want to pass down the mental illness from my husband's family that I had learned about. Yeah. And secretly, I was still worried about that curse. Maybe we should adopt, I suggested. End the crazy genes and start fresh. At that time, China had a fantastic program, and it just felt right. The baby would have no ties to us genetically. The adoption process took exactly 9 months. It was perfect. There were no stretch marks. I could drink responsibly during the wait. And I didn't need to take diet pills. Oh, you've got your own little China doll to play with, my mother liked to say. She's like a toy. I was not amused. She is not a toy, Mom. She's a baby. Oh, but she's sort of like a toy. She's like a little China doll. Look, babies are anything but playthings, right? They're nonstop work things. My daughter was 8 months when she came home, so yes, I skipped out on the whole cracked nipples, breastfeeding, and she was a champion sleeper from the get-go, but there were all these other issues. She spent her first 3 months in a hospital fighting for her life from a cough that wouldn't quit, so they say, because she was left at the orphanage gate in a box, wrapped in wool with a cotton blanket. In the middle of winter, it was 2 degrees below zero. And when she was finally placed in my arms in China, she was in the last stages of measles due to an outbreak in the orphanage. As soon as we got home to Los Angeles, she broke into a massive eczema rash all over her body. Her head was flat on one side from the crib, and I stressed out whether or not we should put a helmet on her head so her brain wouldn't smush. And then at 12 months, she broke out with shingles, because it turns out she had chickenpox in the orphanage as well. And I didn't want to load her up with steroids and antibiotics because that's what happened to me. When I was a kid, tetracycline was the wonder drug for everything. And as a result, my immune system was really compromised. Now, my adult life is like a menu of exotic autoimmune diseases: mononucleosis, Epstein's Barr, Hashimoto's, thyroiditis. So against most people's advice, specifically my mother's, I took the alternative route. I did acupuncture for her, supplements, food as medicine. I don't laugh. I even once put garlic oil in her ear to cure an ear infection. It worked. My daughter's only taken antibiotics once in her 11 years for bronchitis. So far, I didn't have a daughter just like me. And I think a lot of us grew up with the idea of children are to be seen and not heard, right? Well, I didn't want to perpetuate that. And so I came upon this ride parenting philosophy, which is built on respect and observation rather than control and intervention. So for example, we'd be out to brunch and other moms would be yelling at their kids to, sit down and eat your food. And I'd be saying to my daughter, I'm here if you need any help scaling that retaining wall. And when it came to diapering, instead of it being this quick, let's get that yucky poop off, it was this long, drawn-out bonding process. My daughter would even assist in taking off her own diaper and wiping her bottom and even fastening her own tabs. And this was out in the open in the playground. My friends made fun of me, and I was a bit of an outcast at the time and quickly became known as a hippie rather than just hip. And my mother was beside herself. That's not how we did it when you were growing up. That's all I know. Once, when my mother was babysitting, she said, I put lipstick on her, but I told her, don't tell your mother I put lipstick on you. Well, I read her the riot act. Mom, you're teaching my daughter to sneak things. You're teaching her that she has to hide things from me. She's not going to get in trouble for playing makeup with her grandma. Oh, I guess I never thought of it that way, she said. We just did things different in my day. Sometimes I say to my daughter, I wish I had a mother like me when I was growing up. She thinks it's funny, but she's quick to tell me that I'm not perfect. She reminds me that I yell sometimes. Mama, if you're going to yell at me, you have to warn me first because I'm very sensitive and I cry, she says. But really, you shouldn't even yell at me. So now I warn her, I'm hitting capacity, I say. I'm going to start getting louder if you don't stop doing what you're doing. And most of the time, it works. I keep from yelling, and she keeps from crying. She makes me a better mother. And my mom is just crazy about her. She thinks she's terrific. And just the other day, she said to me, she is nothing like you were when you were her age. I can tell you that. And it's true. She's nothing like me, except the facial expressions, the gestures, the occasional New York accent. I did it. I broke the lineage, and I broke the curse. And the funny thing is, it's just at least what I didn't expect is that I'm actually aspiring to be more like her. Thank you.